We are back out for another recce of the UTS 100-mile route this time, because that is the race I'm doing, but it also takes in the 100k runners as well, and we're joining it just as you will have dropped down the Glidders. That's Trivan behind me, in case you don't know. Beautiful Trivan. You go around it, you don't go up and over it in this race, which is probably a good thing for a lot of us. You join this nice path for about, what, 500 metres, and then we will be heading up Pen yr Wen, which is a very significant climb really. You'll be climbing more than you did going up to that finger post at Snowdonia. So yeah, and the path isn't as well laid out for you. So a nice test, especially after you've just dropped down from the Glidders. So I will show you more as we go along. And yeah, it's pretty windy out here. I'm doing the best I can with the mic, but because I'll be running a bit, it's mainly shot on the iPhone. So nice clear day though, you'll get the idea and the lay of the land, and I'll speak to you more when we cross over the road up to Pen yr Wen. What I forgot to mention there is that bit of path that I'm walking on is actually the path out of the checkpoint that you will have reached after coming down the long path down the back of Trivan. Well, it's the east side of Trivan, I think. Someone might pull me up on that. But that path itself, although not technical in terms of mountain running, you do have to take care, and if you were just to look at a map, you might think you might run down it quickly. It's not that quick, if I'm honest. So the first third of the climb is on easy to follow trail. You pretty much follow these little waterfalls all the way up, which is nice, especially, I mean, you'll just come out of checkpoint to be honest, but you need to splash some water on yourself, or even if you want to neck some water or some electrolyte coming out of the checkpoint, refill here. That's a good option too, because once you get up higher up on the Carneddau, water is way more scarce, so it's a good place to refill, because you can drink probably a litre of water until halfway up and then fill up again. They put some relatively new stones down, so the path is a lot easier to follow now than it has been in the past, and then yeah, it'll take you up into the more rocky section really. So fingers crossed we get a day like today and it's sunny. The wind isn't too bad coming up here, but it can be, and you can see it just gets a little bit steeper. The steps get a little bit higher before you get to where the path seems like it just disappears, but yeah, obviously doesn't. One thing I've noticed is my pack is a bit heavier than usual, and that's because you'll have noticed by now, hopefully, that because the race is part of UTMB, there's different kit lists for different weather conditions really, and if the bad weather kit list is activated, then it's quite a bit heavier. I notice it anyway. So what I've been doing is just the last few runs is pack everything that I could potentially be carrying on the day, so that might be useful for you. I mean, it's only a few weeks out for people now, but if you're running it in future years, then yeah, I'd recommend maybe getting out with full kit plus wet weather kit, or cold weather kit they call it, just so you know what that feels like. Right, I'm going to show you the only one tricky bit where you will need your hands up Pen yr Wen, and that's why I've packed my poles away. yeah, up that little gully, I guess you call it. Nothing serious, everyone should be able to handle that in this race. If you're aware of the Paddy Buckley, obviously, or done a leg of that, you'll have been up there. If you've done the Dragon's Back or recce'd the Dragon's Back, you will have come down that way. So yeah, even in the wet, I've been up here in the wet, the rocks aren't too slippy, if I'm honest. Take your time and you'll be good. Let's see if I can do it with one hand, just to prove the point. There we go, that's pretty much it, if I'm honest. Just winds up. So great views up here if we do have it on the day, nothing too tricky at all, and hopefully you haven't just got some other runners bum in your face and you can enjoy those views. When you come out the top of it, there you can see Tryfan again that you've been, so you can, for quite a lot of this race route, you can see where you've already been or where you're going on a clear day, that is. You will make your way up, very easy to navigate obviously, up to the top of Pen yr Olwen. Now, although this might look like poor camera skills, what I am trying to show you is just the lay of the land after Pen yr Olwen. It's quite rocky, it's some loose rock, but most of it is pretty stable if I'm honest, but lots of them do shoot up out of the ground at you, so just be careful where you're putting your feet. If there is good visibility, then it's easy to see where you're off to. It's Carneddau. Yeah, that is... Again, that's over 1,000 metres, so Pen yr Olwen I think is just under 1,000 metres. This is Dafydd here, which is just over 1,000 metres. You will then shoot between Ysgolion Duon. Again, I mean I'm Welsh, but give me a break on my pronunciation. And Craig Llwgwi. I am looking at the map. But yeah, after Carneddau to Llywelyn, it's an amazing bit of running if I'm honest. And hopefully we get to enjoy the views again. But yeah, this is the lay of the land, lots of just rock to pick your way through. In poor visibility you can easily go off the kind of optimal line here, so just if you're following GPX, follow that and follow your nose. There are cairns up there to follow for part of the path, and then there is just one kind of shortish, steepest climb up to Llywelyn. And yeah, this is me climbing Llywelyn now, which tops out at 1,064 metres, which will be the highest point of the race, at least so far, because you didn't top out at Snowdon. Yep, some of the most fun you'll have in the race probably there when your legs are still relatively fresh, running down towards Penna Helgi D, and I know that one. I think it is, in English anyway, the head of the Black Hound. Somebody told me that out on a Paddy Buckley recce once. But yeah, you just have to be a little bit aware of your surroundings. If I was going to give you a tip, it would be to stay left a little bit. It's not dangerous at all, and you just have to kind of be sensible. Maybe one or two hands on, but this is me just
reaching the top of it. It probably takes all of 2 minutes, if that. Again, could be a different story in poor visibility, but you know where you're going, just up and over the top. And then there is the long run down, and it is pretty long. I'd have to check how long, down to the next checkpoint. But this is, I mean, we've had lots of rain recently when I did this recce, and it's still very dry, so it drains very quickly off that hill. Hopefully you'll get to see some of the famous ponies on your way down, and then yeah, you are ready for the next checkpoint.